Recording in progress.
Unfair, and that one didn't work.
Readfield, Maine, please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining our regularly scheduled meeting. First item tonight is 26063, the minutes of our meeting from February 9th, 26.
Move we approve the meeting minutes of January 12th, 2026 as presented.
Second.
Wait, shouldn't have been February 9th. Minutes.
Oh, whoops, I'm
Yeah,
looking
no.
at the minutes. February 9th, 2026.
I've been wondering why there was a pause there.
So I have a motion, and Jaron, you still seconding that? Motion and a second, all those in favor?
I think I was absent. You were. So I can't
So
vote.
was I. And abstain. And
Due
the
to
motion
absence.
passes, so Catherine and Sean are abstaining due to absence, everybody else approves. 26064, warrants 33 and 34. Jaron, is that you?
Yes, it is. We have warrants 33 and 34 for a total of $509,894.71. Highlights there was our RSU payment for almost $372,000. Our plowing contract for almost $48,000. We had a waste management to get rid of trash for a little over 11. We had some tons of salt for almost 45. We had insurance to Maine Municipal Association for almost 45. And the plow for the Bobcat, is that right, for almost 67.
Correct.
I'd make a motion to approve the warrant as presented.
Second.
I have a motion second, all those in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. The next section, we have select board communications. Anybody have anything they wish to say? I was just going to say, since I missed the meeting where we could have thanked everybody for the Readfield radio event, the main show, game show. It was a great event here. I hope you get a chance to listen to it on the radio.
We did speak of that
Yeah. Oh, good. And
how it was rigged and you won.
I wasn't going to mention who won, but that's fine. But I also just wanted to highlight the Readfield Blizzard Busters had an event this weekend that was held on the trail at Nancy and Dave Bucher's, who were founding members of the Readfield Blizzard Busters 50 years ago. So they were presented with a thank you and congratulations plaque at a trailside event, which there was a lot of sledders came by. It was really cool. Nice to see, and really cool that we have a club like that that's been around so long with some other members as active as they are. But I just wanted to highlight those folks for that. Boards, committees, commissions, and departments. We have minutes listed separately. And then we have public communication. Any members of the board, anybody in public? What is it you're here for, sir? Oh, okay. Perfect. All right, I don't see anything online. 26061, consider the transfer station commercial hauler permit. It seems pretty simple.
Yeah, just an extension. There was a late arrival. It is a distant relative of Archie's, but not affiliated. So just kind of a coincidence there, but he got his paperwork in and I reviewed it, and we don't have any objections to approving this commercial hauler permit.
And we're supposed to just have the one page that's in here.
Yeah, and we certainly have more information, but this is the same kind of cover sheet that was included with the ones from last time as well.
So do we need to make a motion to approve this?
Yes, please.
I would make a motion to approve the commercial haulers permit for 2026 for J. Archibald Disposal as presented.
Second. Motion and a second. All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Okay, new business 26065. Consider the award of the 5-year winter road maintenance contracts. Eric, would you like to start us off?
Sure, yeah, so the memo included with the packet is a decent summary of the background of this. I wanted to give an idea of what the current situation was and the process to get to and through the RFP. I won't go into all the details, but we had a good process. We had 4 proposers attend the pre-bid meeting. And of those, all 4 submitted proposals for us. The proposals had a base price range that went from 395,000 up to 487,250. So a fairly big spread, although the high end was quite an outlier. The other 3 were bunched much more closely together. The low cost proposal was received by Gardner Excavation. And I want to talk about the scoring criteria that we used. The Transportation Committee wanted to make an informed decision. We wanted to try something a little bit different. We had included with the RFP a summary of what a scoring matrix might look like to help with the decision-making process. And so we had a meeting and discussed the weighting and the different criteria, refined that from what the original was to a small extent. But we put a little bit more weight on experience and a little bit less on price as opposed to the 50-50 that we had originally started with. And that'll come into play later here. But basically the committee and staff really wanted to have a good basis for making a decision or making a recommendation. And so we went through that exercise, and staff and the committee members weighted and graded the 4. Actually, I guess we only graded 2 because the other 2 weren't really viable. So we looked at Horn and Gardner Excavation as the 2 that were worth really discussing at length. All 4 got points, but we really only talked about 2 when the points came together. And what we saw was that we had basically identical scores for those 2 service providers. And the reason for that is that we had put a little bit slightly higher weight on experience. However, there are a few different reasons why the recommendation that ultimately came down landed where it did, and those are primarily that we wanted to look at a lower cost option. And so even with similar scores, we had a cost that was substantially different. Also, the staff, Matt and I, weighted and gave higher scores to Gardner Excavation than to Horn. In part, we believe because we were more familiar with the ins and outs of the contract and the expectations that whoever performs it just does the job. So we weren't really necessarily taking points off for the unknown. Logan has to get some equipment. He has to prove himself, but that's expected, right? That's part of the contract, part of the terms. So we had a little bit differential on weighting there. And so when you pulled all that together and looked at it objectively, there was a consensus discussion and recommendation that the town award the contract to Gardner Excavation. And there we might have some follow-up discussion on any additional contract terms, but I think we're very, very close to having that, basically done. And we really can't discuss it too much until we make that final award. And then the 2 things I wanted to point out as far as concerns, not active, but just something that's out there, is we were a little bit concerned about the limited experience. And that's something that, well, everybody that's in the business started out someplace doing some of this work. So I think that one of the things I'd like to have Logan do tonight is talk to the board and to the town about what he intends to do, what the level of service you're looking to provide, and how you intend to do it. That'll be a helpful piece to this. And then the other piece was the unknown level of service. And again, that's really subject to the terms of the contract. So as long as I'm doing my job and Logan's doing his job, everything will work out great. And those were the 2 things I wanted to point out. The other, I guess the last thing here is that final recommendation. And that was a unanimous consensus. We didn't vote on it. because the committee is actually down by a few members, unfortunately. So we just thought it would be best to look at it collaboratively. I did include in the packet all of the proposal numbers and then all of the documentation, including a sample of the scoring matrix that was used, so you can get an idea of what our discussion looked like. And then everybody's individual items. I didn't include the full contract, but just the number pages and then some backup information. Also, I included the same type of stuff that went to the road committee or the transportation committee, including the request for information that we put out, so that you all could see exactly what we were looking at when we had this discussion. So that's really all I had. Logan, I really appreciate you being here and putting in that quote for us. And I'll turn it over to the board.
Logan, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure.
You want to join this podium?
My name's Logan Gardner. I moved to Readfield about 5 years ago. I've been in the excavation and snow plowing industry for 10 to 12 years now. I've plowed everything from camp roads to hospitals, doctor's offices, commercial mills, and everything of those sorts. I do not have a ton of municipal plowing experience, but I'm sure I can handle it. We've got to definitely beef up some equipment, hire a couple more guys. I've got a lot of people that are backing me, so to speak, with equipment and manpower. So I think, we're going to let go most of our residential and commercial contracts to focus primarily on Readfield. So I think we will be able to service the town and the members proudly.
Anybody have any questions for Logan? All right.
Motion?
Anybody want to make a motion?
I have a question first.
Okay.
Eric, I wasn't expecting there to be a proposal from Horn Construction. Hadn't they said they weren't going to do this anymore?
Well, he said he wasn't sure, and I was a little bit surprised.
You never know in this world.
But I think that he definitely is. He really is committed to the work. I think, and I just want to thank Scott for his service over the past 4 years. It's been outstanding, yeah, I think that it's not just him. He's got other folks that are involved with the business. He has the people he works with, and he involves them in some of the discussions and decision making. So I'd say that the price that we got from Scott was probably a safe price for him either way, and so that I think that if it had been a different year, it might have been a little bit more competitive, but certainly his qualifications bolstered his application quite a bit. But I think in the end he put in a number that he was comfortable with, and that was going to serve him in his company.
So my understanding from what you presented is that essentially Warren and Gardner, sorry. Are you Gordon? No, you live on the Gordon Road. I knew I got Gordon in there somewhere. Essentially scored the same.
Yeah, and it was to the point.
By the matrix. And so this is the lesser expensive.
Yeah.
With a even scoring matrix.
Yeah, by somewhere close to $50,000. So it's hard to look at a 5-year term initially and say, well, we're willing to let go of $250,000. That's a big ask. If it was $10,000 a year or $15,000 a year difference, I probably would have had a different recommendation. I know I would have had a different recommendation, but right now we're not there. That's what we had, and I expect that Logan will do a great job for us, especially being in town. I live here and I know what it's like to have people knock on your door. Hopefully that doesn't happen too much, but I'm sure you'll be able to respond appropriately if they do.
Yes,
So.
that's the goal. Don't show up to the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Scott came through for us when we needed him, and I think we owe him a great debt of gratitude for that. We were stuck with no one, and he came through, and that was great. I don't have any problem with going with the lower bid if the scoring came out the same. And I don't recall reading in the contract, what is the increase rate that's guaranteed per year?
CPI.
Okay,
Yeah, so, but it's CPI for transportation because we wanted to tag the fuel and equipment indices. So,
okay.
so
But
it's
the
more
fuel,
relevant to the business than just the standard CPI.
and the fuel cost is negotiable, right?
It's not specifically in here because in theory, fuel costs, as long as it's not erratic, is absorbed in the transportation CPI. What we have done in the past is we've made, when we had COVID impacts where we had a dramatic change, we negotiated an increase to accommodate that. So that's something that, I mean, and we talked about this during the RFP process. We're not looking to bankrupt anybody, but we want to make sure we have a good working relationship. So if there's a need for an adjustment, we can talk about it. And so that's not specifically in there. But it's something we could
I think
do. If
all
we
of
needed
these
to.
contracts over the years have had that sort of potential in some effects.
Oh, sure,
Anyway,
yeah.
you know, it's always in the contract that, you know, if we get some ridiculous winner there was always the option that you would go back and negotiate and say, hey, I need a little more money for that.
Like
There was all,
it
that's all,
snows a foot every week.
right. I mean, typically that never happens.
Yeah.
but, you know, there's a safeguard in I think almost every contract like that. So,
Okay.
you know, I don't think 10 cents on fuel would make that big of a difference, but you know, if fuel went to $9 a gallon, they might be sitting down saying, whoa, wait a minute. This has
And I
gotta be
know
moved.
there had been discussion about that Readfield really has been plowing at the gold standard level. And we were trying to cut that back in a reasonable way. I mean, not to make the roads unsafe, but maybe we don't have to be doing quite as much as we have been. Has that been accomplished with this contract?
I think as much as you can define it. right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's-
it's
that's the
always a
hard
little
part is-
fuzzy. Mostly we're looking to save on materials, have a little bit less sand put down. And that might mean that we have to talk about the salt mix. Right now, I think it was either 8-1, 10-1, something like that. 10-1, which is a minimum. And right now we're running a lot hotter than that. So I'll have to talk to Logan about that, and we might make an adjustment, we might not, but we'll talk about that and whether or not that's something we can agree to. So, but if not, we've got a baseline, and I think the understanding is that we want to, or I know the understanding is that we want to reduce the amount of stuff in the ditches at the end of the season. So
That's everything I had. Thank you. Thank you for coming tonight.
No problem. Any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Dave,
I'll
you should
make
do
a-
this.
I'll make a motion to approve the plow contract bid from Gardner Excavation.
Second. I have a motion, a second. Any further discussion?
How many years is it for?
5 years.
for
5 years plus, or is it 4 years plus one?
I think we have it so you can negotiate after that.
yeah, it's 5
3 years.
plus a maximum of 3. So
So it could go for 8.
could go for 8, but we're looking to start with 5 and.
So
Well, I'm looking
there's
to start with 1
security.
and see how it goes, but.
There's security there for both parties.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a motion, a second. All those in favor? It's unanimous.
Dave, a big thank you to you for helping out with this. I think this is the earliest we've done this in recent years.
Yeah, no, I
Thanks
think.
to Logan for bidding it.
Gives me plenty of time to start working on some trucks.
Yeah. I don't know if I should congratulate you or say I'm sorry.
See you this time next year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Logan. You don't have to stay.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I'm gonna get back up there and start plowing.
Yeah.
Thanks, Logan. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Okay, 26066, consider the support for the Kennebec Land Trust acquisition of conservation land in Readfield. The map is in the packet and we have. any
What
discussion?
page is this on?
Oh, you know I don't.
Almost
I'm
way on
into the
the end.
90s.
The
94
map is all.
You're close. then.
Okay.
on the
there.
digital
You need
pages.
it.
Yeah.
Eric, do you want to introduce?
Sure, yeah, so, about 8 months ago, we were approached, I was approached by KLT, with the idea of purchasing conservation property. And it's the parcel that is on the map, identified as Goucher, 27 acres. And I think it's 27 or 30, depending on what document you're looking at, but we'll go with 27. The reason this was being considered is because it is contiguous with other conservation land. There was a prospect of this being purchased and developed for either a campground or something similar. And so the KLT folks approached me, and I subsequently brought it to the select board. We had an executive session that was noted, and we discussed some options. I'll point out that the board wasn't comfortable, wasn't ready to make a decision or move forward with it, and so they asked KLT to figure it out. And so KLT went ahead and found someone to buy the land on a temporary basis until the town could have time to put this on a warrant at a regular town meeting as opposed to a special town meeting, which was the concern the first time around. And so we had an executive session earlier this evening to talk about the prospect of town involvement and a partnership of some kind with KLT to acquire this land from their conservation buyer, who is effectively just holding that land. The discussion moved along fairly well and quickly, I believe. And what we were looking at is a few different options. One would be for the town to own the fee, own the land, and KLT to hold an easement. Alternatively, we could have an arrangement where the town held the easement and KLT held the land. Another option would be the do nothing option, to just not consider it. And the fourth option would be to just offer a donation to KLT to help support the purchase. What was discussed and seemed to have more weight to it was the idea that the town would bring this forward on a warrant at the next town meeting, June town meeting. And I believe that the context was a separate article where the town would be looking to contribute half the cost, roughly $33,000 of a total of 66. For that land to be acquired by KLT, KLT would hold the ownership of the land, and the town would have a stake in a project agreement that would be less onerous than the easement, but still allow for the project, the land to be conserved, and for taxes to be paid on it, albeit at the woodlot tree growth rate. So all in all, that was the general direction and discussion we had at the meeting. I probably missed something, so
No, I
let you guys know.
actually was gonna let you just introduce it, and
Oh,
you
okay.
just took it, and so I'm grateful for all your
Sorry,
talk.
think
Sean,
the-
I thought that's what
No,
you
it was
did.
excellent. We now, I think,
I think the only thing that you didn't mention, which is amazing that you got everything in there. We had some discussion about what the use of this land would be.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that it's not going to be like the Torsi Nature Preserve where hunting was not part of that arrangement because it was a nature preserve. This is going to remain as the open land that it is, with hunting and access as any other of those conserved lands are that are around it.
and that would be the reason why we would do a special project agreement. The project agreement instead of an easement, because it would really delineate what those pieces were. It would change the need for that annual maintenance or review. Those were some of the key conversation pieces we had. So I think at this point, really having Eric work with the folks from KLT to come up with that language for the project agreement, to work on a warrant article, a separate warrant article for that is where we're looking to go forward.
And it'll be with money that has already been approved by town meeting from open space funds is what we are asking to use.
Yes.
We don't really actually have to ask for the money because it's already been approved by town meeting, but this board feels strongly that the parcel in particular should be approved
Yeah, I think also, one other thing was that, you did discuss the idea of having a separate public hearing for this. And so, as far as the flow of things, that's something else that,
I think that
was
would be,
discussed, but.
I think that'll be important as we understand more of the project agreement
Mhm.
and how that's laid out. If it's simple in a document, then maybe it's okay to wrap it into our normal warrant hearing. I think once we see that, the board can make a decision whether we have to do an individual public hearing or we can add it as a segment of the grander. Does everybody agree with
You
that?
can just do it as a segment of the big one, but you might want to specify a time for it.
Right.
Like maybe
It's
the first 30 minutes or
Yeah.
the last 30 minutes is devoted to that.
Any other thoughts, comments on that piece?
Just, will this, oh, it just disappeared. What did I do, Jared? There it is. Will the select board have to make a recommendation on this?
Yeah, as a financial warrant, yes,
Okay.
because it does have dollars associated. They're not, it's not a tax impact, but it is expenditure of funds, so yes.
Okay. Just want to be clear so we're all prepared.
Okay. Next item, 26-067, consider approval of the revised transfer station fee schedule as indicated in the packet.
Are the yellow items the only ones that have changed?
Yes, that's correct.
I know that tires changed because our supplier, the recycler, changed their rates, so the town has to raise their rates.
Also, we were the cheapest place in town to dispose of tires, and that's not exactly what we want, so.
No.
Or one of them anyway.
I would make a motion to to approve the transfer station fee schedule as presented.
Second.
Can I ask a question? Well, we have a motion, a second, further discussion. Yes, there's further discussion. So for example, on here, and this is a personal thing, I was just curious about it and it just came up, but the household paint, that's free to get rid of,
Yeah,
but only 5 gallons at a time.
yes.
But I went Saturday and Sunday with 5 gallons. Does it really matter?
I think
I'm
that's
just
a
curious.
site-specific discussion. Part of it's just having, the capacity to handle it.
That's what my question is. Is
Yeah.
there, is it, what is the, if it's free, then what difference does it make at that point? Is it just the storage space or?
It's storage space.
Okay.
And just, I think trying to avoid someone bringing their whole basement in at once.
Yeah.
And and so you gotta draw the line someplace, Sean, so.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
appreciate you
I was
following the
curious.
rules
I
of
did
doing
follow the rules. I didn't
5
argue.
gallons at a
5
time.
gallons a week.
Yeah.
But if you're, but to Sean's point, if we're open Friday, Saturday and Sunday and you come each day with 5 gallons,
Can't
which
turn me
is
away.
allowed,
Easy peasy.
couldn't you just come on Saturday with 15 gallons?
Uh,
And so my
yeah.
thought on that, being on the committee, is I would call the transfer station ahead of time and say, I've got 7 gallons of paint that I'd like to bring in on Friday. Can I bring them all, or do I need to come on 2 days?
That's what I was gonna say.
That's a great thing
Be
to say.
reasonable about
Yeah.
it. And just
Yeah, I
say,
mean, I just went
I've
like,
never
oh,
heard of anybody being turned away, so, it's.
That's the
I do
common
think that's
sense
a
approach.
standard as well. Everywhere I've disposed paint, they've always had a 5 gallon limit.
This
Whether
was
it's a
just-
rationale behind it or not. I
And
don't know,
probably, there has to be something always in there as a safeguard from the one occurrence and the
Well,
person
I'm
that shows up
not-
with 55 gallons every week.
Right, and I'm
You know,
not,
So you can say, hey.
listen, I just grabbed the first 5 cans and I put them where they told me and I went back on Sunday and I gave them the next 5, right? And I didn't make a question, but my thought was, I don't want somebody to see this and then go, well, it just says
Right.
free. There's nothing that says 5 gallons.
Right.
That was my point of this.
So I
I
can
just
just
feel
add
like-
that readily.
I think if we put, even if something's free, but there's a
A limit,
limit, I
a
think we want to
daily,
do that. Because
but
I
you
don't
want to put a
think,
daily limit.
because Karen wasn't there the first day I went, not that it matters, but if the manager wasn't there for some reason and one of the attendants is getting crap from somebody who wasn't me, because they didn't get crap, I'm on the record, I just gave them 5 cans of left. I just don't, I want us to be able to, somebody can review
Yeah.
this, right? Because what else do they have? They can say, here's our document, this is the rule, this is what we go
Yeah.
by. So I
Yeah,
think
no, that's fair.
if there is other things like that, even if waste oil has a certain gallon that goes with it, I think we should highlight those, that it's free, but up to X amount.
So I'm gonna revise my motion that we add on waste oil and paint a 5-gallon daily limit.
Well, so waste oil, the only limit there really is what's available in the drum for room, and we've got 2 drums or 3. So I don't believe there's an effective limit. We've never had anybody come in with a large quantity like that. It's always smaller units.
Okay, so I'll make it just on household
I
paint.
think that works, yeah.
Second,
Okay, so they're both there.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you very much.
Was that on both parts?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Thank you,
Glad you're able to get rid of
Angelica,
your
for
paint.
watching the tape and hearing our nonsense.
At least we're not watching paint dry.
That's right. 26-067, consider the approval of the revised, 26-068, consider the town manager contract report.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the new contract as presented in the packet.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Further discussion?
I would just note that we had an executive session. We talked about this for half an hour, so it may look like we're rubber stamping this. But we've already really had our discussion.
Yeah, and I just wanted to highlight that we did get responses from individuals in the community, public boards about Eric, and we heard positive things about his work. We're really grateful that Eric wants to stick around for another year, so.
And we're very appreciative of everything you do for the town.
Thanks, well, I appreciate that very much, and I mean, I got 10 years in October, so I'm pretty well satisfied too.
Excellent. Well, I guess it's working out well for everyone.
All those in favor? It's unanimous.
It's
Any
only
other-
7:02, Sean.
Does I know anybody have any further agenda items for tonight? Catherine, you did say something before the meeting.
Oh, 2 things I want to mention. Now I'll be brief. In driving by the Livermore Falls sand pile, I believe they have their salt in a shed that's covered. And their sand pile is what's just on the side of the hill. And then they mix it as they need it.
Oh, okay.
Just, we might want to think ahead to something more along that line instead of $1 million building. That just, it's hard for me.
Until you get a lot of rain and it all freezes.
Yep.
That's kind of rough.
Just want to, like with the snowplow contract, want us to be open-minded and look at everything. We are a small town and we don't want to make ourselves into a big city town with tons of expense that we might not need. I'll be at the next 7 Wednesdays at the Kennebec County Budget Committee meetings. The first go round on that looks like it's about an 8% increase. That includes approximately, these are just round numbers on the very first draft, of about 100,000 for the sheriff's office. And that is primarily a wage renegotiation. And I haven't asked specifically, but I believe that is going to be the same increase again next year for what they did. The problem there is that the sheriff's deputies have been able to make about 50% more in wages by going to surrounding towns and cities doing the same work. And so they keep losing people. So we've had those same kinds of issues here where we have to increase for wages. Good news on the correctional facility. Last year, their increase was $1.5 million in the budget. And this year, the proposed increase is 500,000. So that's significantly less. And I think they're up for negotiations next year. So the other thing the budget committee asked about, and this is the last item, having an actual capital plan similar to what Readfield has. And I've been very pushy about that. And I gave them our plan, which Eric allowed me to do. And they have a new finance director, and he and the maintenance director have put together a really nice capital plan. I'm not sure that it's fundable right now. It looks like it would be $750,000 a year for 5 years. I think I might be looking to suggest maybe 500,000 for 7 or 8 years. But we did a tour of the facilities, and for instance, the boiler is like 22 years old. And if the boiler goes down in the county courthouse building, everything in it will freeze because it's water. It's a boiler-based system, and that could cause tremendous damage and cost a lot more money than just replacing the boiler or having a backup generator, which they don't have either. So it's all very reasonable items, and the 5 people who went on the tour from the budget committee were all like-minded that better to buy things sooner when they're going to be cheaper and before things break and cause extra expense. Even though it's a hard hit to take to add another 500,000 to the budget, we're going to spend it anyway. And it's not going to be 500,000 if we're always spending it to fix things that are broken instead of fixing things ahead of time like we're trying to do. So it is a big shift. I don't know if the commissioners will go for it, but the budget committee has the final say, actually. So I'll keep you informed.
Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Anybody have anything else? This is our last February meeting, so just a reminder for everybody that the Readfield U starts on March 1st, and that is almost a daily occurrence of events this year. It's unbelievable, from painting to safaris to cooking classes, improv. So take a look at the calendar and see. If there's
Maple
anything.
syrup farm.
There is that.
When's the next meeting?
Our next meeting is March
The
9th.
9th and the 23rd again.
God, I have a joint meeting
And now,
Wednesday.
will there be another
No.
trivia showdown?
The RSU meeting, I think, is in March.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Do we have an invite for that?
Not yet.
I think it's always on their calendar that they have, so if you,
Oh, okay,
if you
just
look
look
at
at
their board
calendar.
meeting calendar, they'll have the budget meeting with the select boards from.
Gotcha.
Let's do that quick in case it's
Yeah.
before.
Well, I won't be there because it's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
It'd
I
be
will
good if
already be
somebody
meeting.
can go. I think last year was my son's birthday, so I did not go.
Yeah, I think that was the first year we hadn't had
Go
more
for
than 1 or 2
shutdown.
people there.
I didn't do the, oh, yes.
Yeah,
I did.
usually
Okay.
the whole board is there from Readfield. It was always a source of pride for me when I was on that. board. And that Readfield always showed
And
up.
I think Jaron was the only one who went last year.
Yeah, it was definitely on the 26th last year.
They didn't set up tables or anything for anyone.
Really?
Really.
Were you the only one from
I was
any town?
Literally the only board member from any town.
Well, we still won.
I won. It doesn't say on there for select board member.
I can reach out and find out.
March
and I'll-
18th
yeah.
is their March one. But
That sounds.
They've
like-
actually did change and now they have a budget committee rather than the whole board doing the budget. So maybe it's
okay,
different now. And they have a new superintendent, so.
they sure do.
They do. I did not know that. Not an acting one, but a new one?
This is the person.
The
that was
acting one
enacting.
is the new one.
Oh, okay, so change title, same person.
But I'll find out and let you all know.
Yeah, please do.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All's in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you very much.
So
Recording stopped.